Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Guys Talking About Shit podcast, being recorded on Sunday, March 18th, 2018. We have a bunch of great topics for you all in the world of gaming, movies, TV, and a bunch of other geeky things you might find interesting. I'm your host, Bob Brusen, and I'm joined by my co-host, the always delayed Adam Miller.
Delayed is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to describe you. Adam, why don't you tell the listeners what's been new with you today? Or at least within the last week.
Well, the problem I was having last week with my vehicle registration being suspended despite me having insurance for not having insurance, I got that taken care of. I went to
Didn't you get a thing in the mail that said like you were cut off?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
For not having insurance when I had insurance. I guess the PennDOT and the DMV don't handle that. Somehow they outsource that to AAA. So I had to go to a AAA office.
You couldn't just call in, or you had to get it done immediately?
I had to. I'm going to be taking it out probably at the end of the month, so.
Oh, yeah.
I need it legal by the end of the month.
Putting the big one back in. Putting the big truck.
Yeah, I'm putting the SUV back in since winter's over. But, yeah, I went there, and they're like, yeah, you might have to pay a fine anyways, like a $91 fine. And I'm like, well, why should I pay a fine if I had insurance the whole time? And I was there for maybe a half an hour, and finally we got
it resolved.
Taken care of, yeah.
Well, that's good. I've been in Philly this whole weekend. Mm-hmm. So
getting fucked up.
Yeah, that's St. Patrick's Day in Philadelphia on on Saturday was absolutely chaotic. So we're currently recording this at 7:04. I got home at seriously 4:30 and then just started building show notes for us. It's like, so I drove all the way back. So it was kind of rough. But I mean, man, Philly's a whole different town when you go there compared to Pittsburgh. It is not anywhere near the same. Like, it's like opposite end of the world. Like, they're just so much more spaced out. I mean, driving around there is absolutely insane. Yeah. Compared to driving in Pittsburgh. Like, I actually think driving in Pittsburgh is a lot easier than it is to drive in Philadelphia. But I mean, there's just so much more. There's so much more to do, and there's so many more people. Like, it's so much different.
It's a bigger city, yeah.
Yeah. Our St. Patrick's Day, I decided to call it a little bit of an earlier night on St. Patrick's Day because I'm like, I got to get up. I'm drunk now. I'm going to have to drive in the morning.
You'll be hungover.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that, driving 4.5 hours to back to Pittsburgh. But what happened is my sister lost her boyfriend in the town. She couldn't find him. And his phone was dead. And we lost him. And he's in the middle of Philadelphia at, I believe it was 1 a.m. in Philadelphia downtown. And we don't know where he is. My sister's trying to call him. His phone's dead. And we're like, he's probably dead. Like, where the fuck? Why would you go somewhere and not have a phone? Not tell anybody. Have a dead phone. So eventually he called from a Ruby Tuesdays. And that's how we had to go get him. Yeah. And he was just couldn't barely even walk. It was a fucking, like, me and my brother are like, what
the? Just use the phone and get out of here.
Like, me and my brother are like, looking, like, the reason why I went to Philadelphia is my brother now lives in Philadelphia. And I'm just like looking, I'm like, oh my God, like, we did not come here to do this. This is not what we came down here for. We wanted to have a fun time, not go searching for a possible dead person or arrested person with no clue where he's at.
Oh my God.
And wasted. So even if he was just like, oh yeah, I'm kind of here, he didn't know anything. Like, if I had gotten lost, I could have been like, all right, well, take me to at least where this place is. Mm-hmm. Take me to the CVS or take me to this place. It's called like the Fox and the Hound. I would have been like, okay, take me there. But no, completely fucking lost. And it drove me nuts. The fact that we had to go looking for him for that. But it was altogether really fun time. Yeah. I took BB-8 with me. I took a little action figure of BB-8 and I took photos of him all around Philadelphia. It was pretty cool. I got him like at the Rocky Steps. Yeah. And in front of the Rocky statue. I actually almost got in trouble because I stuck him really close to the Liberty Bell. Yeah. Like, and they were like,
don't fucking touch it.
I didn't get it on there. I put it on a railing.
Yeah, and they're like, it's too close.
No, they let me do it, but they were like watching me like really close. It was a fun time though. I'd really like to go back maybe around summertime. But, all right, everybody, let's dive into our first topic of the day, which is the big one, the dropping of the Avengers Infinity War trailer. Holy shit.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, usually we just kind of cut away, but we're not going to do it this time because we decided to watch it since it's the first topic of the day.
Before, yeah.
Adam, what are some of the highlights you thought of the trailer? What did you like about it the most?
My favorite scene was the one at the end with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Oh, them finally meeting each other? Hi, I'm Peter Parker.
Hi, I'm Doctor Strange.
I'm Dr. Strange.
Oh, we're using our fake names.
Mine's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm Spider-Man.
That was a great one. Okay, so I have two that blew me away. I thought Star-Lord interacting with Iron Man because
Clash of the Egos.
Well, the Clash of the Egos, but I think the funniest part about the whole entire trailer itself was the fact that while Star-Lord, he says, hey, let's talk about this plan. It's good, but I think it sucks. So why don't I come up with the plan? That way it might not suck as bad. And the whole entire time when he's talking, I think him talking is really funny.
Yeah.
But looking at Tony Stark's face,
Yeah.
like, he's not even looking at him.
Yeah.
Like, he's looking in the complete, like, straight ahead, not even looking at him. He's talking, and his face is just like, what the who the fuck are you? Like, I'm the genius, you're this guy. Like, who are you? And he's, like, looking at Spider-Man just like, what the fuck is I doing here with these guys?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be great. Seeing the Guardians interact with everybody is going to be
Yeah.
great. But the best shot of the trailer is Captain America stopping Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like, and Thanos looking like, what the fuck? Why can't I just, like, break him?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, you think that there's a little bit of that Black Panther juice still around? Those little flowers that Killmonger said burn all of them too? I think that's the only way that... I know Captain America's strong.
Do you think they're going to make him doubly strong? Is that
I think
what
he's
you're
going to be doubly strong. Because I know Captain America's super strong. Like, he can one arm hold on to a helicopter and a bar in, like, that super badass moment in Civil War.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's able to stop Thanos from, like dead on. That'd be ridiculous. I'm just thinking
That's definitely a feat of strength there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If they say that Captain America's that strong, cool. I love him even more. But I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit of juice enough to. Clearly there doesn't seem like there's anyone else around him. Like, looks like he's taking him on himself.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have those shields with him, so I'm wondering, like, did he lose them in that battle? Clearly Thanos is in Wakanda.
Yeah.
It's clear. It looks pretty evident. But
well, other than the fact that the entire Wakandan army is with him in that previous scene.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like, it seems like Captain America is mostly going to be in Wakanda. But Thanos, without the Infinity Gauntlet, fucking punched down Iron Man in the first trailer.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool scene, and it's no doubt, like, the MCU Captain America. I've said it on the show before. I say it all the time. He is the best incarnation of Captain America that I've seen. Because comic book wise, I'm not a Captain America fan. Some of the more recent comics have been okay, but besides, like, the Winter Soldier storyline, I haven't really gone into Captain America because I always thought he was just too cheesy. But what they've done with him in the MCU verse is just great. I love it. Also, quick little honorable mention is probably that Doctor Strange getting, like, stabbed and tortured by that, I forget, I think they call him, like, the Black Order or the Black Hand or something like that. The group of,
Yeah, the Black Order, the 5 people that work for Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really a cool shot of him just getting, like, stabbed. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. That's awful. But the tickets finally are on sale. I went and got mine already. I pre-ordered mine for IMAX for its opening night. So, hey, this movie's going to be huge. Yeah. And the trailers have just been all killer. No filler. I don't think so. I don't think there's been any filler with it.
Not really, no. We'll see.
What?
If they're going to cram the entire thing into 2 hours, I think I might be.
It's like 2:45, I think. It's like
almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's probably more reasonable.
It's at least 2.5 or maybe a little more. It's the longest one so far, and I think prior to that, Black Panther was the next longest.
Okay.
But they did it with Civil War. Yeah. Civil War wasn't too long. They crammed a lot into that.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they crammed the entirety of Civil War into Civil War.
True, but you know that there's 2 movies, right? Avengers 4 is pretty much going to be Infinity War Part 2. So, I mean, even if they don't get it all, I mean, they're not beating Thanos in this movie.
So what are they going to do? Is he just going to...
I think they're going to continue it. Like, they're not calling it... Remember how it was originally planned? It was supposed to be Infinity War Part 1 and then Avengers Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of forewent that and just kind of did Avengers Infinity War, and now they're just currently calling this Avengers 4, which I think follows like half a year later. Not story-wise.
What about the films that come out in between?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know, because right now the only movie currently I believe Captain Marvel comes out, I think, in March next year, and then I think it goes Avengers 4. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, which follows Infinity War, takes place before Infinity War, and Captain Marvel takes place in the 80s. So I don't think they really anything, what's the word I'm trying to think of, doesn't like conflict with Part 1 and Part 2. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be fine, at least story-wise. But all right. Now going on to our next topic, which is Lady Bird and Manchester by the Sea actor Lucas Hedges lands a role in the Shia LaBeouf biopic, co-written by Shia LaBeouf. What do you think about that, Adam?
I'm just going to say that he's been hella weird lately.
Yeah, I know. There's no current announcement of whether or not he'll direct the movie. I think Shia LaBeouf has dabbled in directing in the past. But so here's the
but the stuff that he's involved with that hasn't been big name Hollywood shit.
It's super weird.
It's super art house shit. Like,
I know.
It's like not stuff that's going to draw in an audience.
So I was like kind of sitting. I'm like, wow, this sounds really weird. But I'm like, well, let me at least read what the synopsis of it is. So the synopsis is before I go into the synopsis, Shia LaBeouf will be playing his dad in the movie. So
who's playing Shia LaBeouf then?
Lucas Hedges is playing Shia LaBeouf, and Shia LaBeouf is going to play his dad, which this is a biopic about his life where he's playing his dad. So let me go into the biop. It's loosely based, so they might probably change a couple of words around, but it's clearly going to be about Shia LaBeouf. Mm-hmm. A child actor and his law-breaking, alcohol-abusing father attempt to mend their contentious relationship over the course of a decade. And then Esquire reports that the film will focus on LaBeouf as he stars on Disney Channel's Even Stevens as Louis Anthony Stevens. Yeah. So this is all going to be like taking place in between Even Stevens and him, and apparently his really fucked up dad, with Shia LaBeouf being the fucked up dad. This sounds like him. This sounds super interesting to me. I want to see this. It's called Honey Boy, apparently, because that was what his nickname was when he was growing up, was Honey Boy. This sounds really good.
It sounds like it's going to be fucked up.
And it sounds like it's going to be disturbing.
Yeah, this sounds like exactly like what he's doing right now.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is maybe like a weird art self-reflection on him. That
I think it probably is.
Maybe that certain things just can't be knocked out of like genealogy, you know what I mean? Like some things will the sins of fathers pass down to the son, or whatever that fucking phrase is. Sorry, I'm not the most like...
The sins of the father will visit the children.
Yeah, something like on those lines. That just, I mean, to me, this is just so odd. Mm-hmm. But it's right up Shia LaBeouf's alley, and
I think this is totally in line with what he's been doing recently.
Yes,
so this makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's going to be I can guarantee it's probably going to be weird. It's probably going to make people uncomfortable. I can assure you.
I can understand. I mean, it doesn't say. Hopefully, it's nothing like sexual went on, but it just seems like it doesn't say anything like that. It just says law-breaking, alcohol-abusing father. Maybe they were kind of like separated. Like, maybe he didn't have a real good relationship with his father because his father was just so fucked up.
I would assume so.
So, to me, I mean, there's nothing that I can contend to say that Shia LaBeouf is, I think, one of the better actors currently working. Everything he does, though, he usually puts in, like, everything he's got.
Yeah. I think he's dedicated to his trade. I think he's a strange person. I don't think he's a bad person.
Yeah. He's just a oddball. Like he had that whole thing where when Trump got elected, he had a little like webcam
stream that he
where he just went up there and like, you will not define us or something like that, and then someone came up and like made a joke at it, and he just started like getting in his face.
They kept tracking his GPS location, so he was like in the middle of nowhere on a wireless connection, and they kept finding him and trolling, like showing up to where he was and trolling his stream that he was doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like harassing him. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Some people were just coming in there and they were just saying,
they were like showing up to his location, like tearing down the things that he had set up. Like,
I think like somebody from like an alt-right
yeah
said something, and then he
was doing that. Yeah,
and he like flipped out.
That's who was like following him around.
Oh, some alt-right guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, there was another thing where like he got a DUI and was like really saying some horrible shit to the cop whenever he was stuck in the car.
Oh yeah,
he's had a real troubled last. I know he's artsy, but geez. You can be artsy and not.
I would say that there's significant evidence to show that he's struggling with some form of mental illness. That doesn't make him a bad person.
No, he just clearly is struggling with something. I mean, geez. So hey, when this starts, I want to see a trailer and I want to see this movie. This movie sounds super interesting to me. I just, if he's gonna play his father, like, ooh, that's gonna be a real dig. A real dig.
I mean, I would say that it's typical of children with substance abuse parents to have like trauma-based mental illnesses from childhood.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean my dad was kind of an abuser himself, but
well, and you struggle with anxiety.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if that's because of that. I just think it's because I'm an anxious. I don't think that has anything to do with my dad.
Well, I mean,
having alcohol problems. I just think I'm an anxious person, and I have to do things to prevent myself from getting too worked up. But hey, as I said, super interested about this movie. So we'll go on to the next topic, Adam, which is Ava DuVernay. Do you know who that is? No? Ava DuVernay just directed that Wrinkle in Time movie. That Disney Wrinkle in Time that's not doing so great. No, I think it has like a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes and is now in third place at the box office behind Tomb Raider, which Black Panther now is in its fifth week of being number one. That's insane. So Ava DuVernay also directed a really good movie. It was Selma. Did you ever hear about that one, the Martin Luther King one? That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Wrinkle in Time was just... I don't put fault necessarily her. That is just a really... Everyone constantly would say that is a really tough property to film. And I've never read the book.
It's got a lot going on in it.
Yeah. Apparently, there's just a lot of craziness that it is almost unfilmable. But I guess she took a shot at it. And, you know, sometimes you take a shot and you hit it out of the park. Or sometimes it's just kind of... You miss.
Yeah.
And that doesn't take away from it.
From what you've been hearing, is this film bad or is it an eh?
I heard that the characters are good, but that it's just like narratively is all over the place. Like
so
it
it's
just
a pacing
doesn't.
Issue.
Yeah, pacing and like it's apparently shot beautiful. The main thing is that the young actress star is great. The young child actor apparently she's really good in it, and that it is beautifully shot. And
so the cinematography is good and everything.
Yeah, exactly. But that narratively and structurally, it just doesn't work as a film. It just is all over the place.
And that's usually down not to the filming itself, but to the editing.
Well, yeah, but
I said, there's a lot that goes on in that story that maybe they had to... I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But
yeah,
maybe
obviously I haven't seen it either. But
maybe they
just
cut
from
over
reading,
things or...
Yeah, I'm sure maybe some editing problems are definitely... But I'd still say you were directing this. Editing shouldn't be too much. I mean, because a director... does have involvement in editing process. This is what I want. This is where...
That's true, but the studio usually says, cut it down to this time. And then they have to make that work.
I don't know what's up with Disney and, like, its live action or, like, original pieces. Like, it's Beauty and the Beast, while I was not the biggest fan of the Beauty and the Beast. People like that. People like Cinderella.
It wasn't terrible. I actually saw that recently.
Oh, okay. It wasn't... Yeah, it wasn't... It's just nowhere near as good.
It wasn't terrible. It was just...
Then they had the Jungle Book and the Cinderella... Maleficent wasn't the greatest hit.
I mean, don't you feel like there could have been more explored in Black Panther that was cut out of it? I mean, because they had 4 hours worth of usable footage
Yeah, there was
they cut it down to what?
actually a report that the editor and the director. Why am I forgetting his name? Do you remember the director's name, Adam, by chance?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Let me find out, because he did Creed and he did Fruitville Station. So, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but obviously I'm gonna have to look this up. Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently, Ryan Coogler and the editor were like, "Man, we really had to cut a couple scenes." Apparently, some with Forrest Whitaker to kind of explain the relationship between him and T'Challa would have, like, it sounds like it would have really benefited the film, but the film was pushing a really, like, it was a long movie. I mean, the movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
To be honest, it could have been 3 hours and got away with it.
It could have, but then you would have had the problem of, filling in theaters because of these long screenings. 2.5, 2:15 I thought was a good sweet spot. But yeah, they could have added a couple more scenes to benefit the film.
And I guess what I'm saying is this seems like a recurring problem with a lot of modern properties. Like, because technology and everything is getting better, they want to do these more advanced projects, but they're still trying to fit them into this old mold of the 2-hour film.
Yeah, I also just don't believe the average audience wants to sit for more than... I know people who won't even... Like, me and my mom now usually go to a movie on a Sunday, and we go watch it. If I tell her the movie's over 2 hours and, 15 minutes or something like that, she doesn't want to go. Like, I'm just thinking the average person probably doesn't want to sit for more than 2.5 hours at a theater. Like, that's pushing it, 2.5.
Which is odd, because most people's lifestyles these days is sitting on the couch.
Yeah, that is kind of an odd thing. I think people have the option to stop what they're doing, pause it, walk away, come back, go get something to eat.
Take a piss, get a drink.
Yeah, I think you're just kind of stuck there.
That's
maybe the kind of problem.
It's that they're doing something they enjoy, which is sitting on ass, but they're doing it and somebody else is in control of what's going on.
I guess so. Maybe that is. But I mean, going back to it, Ava DuVernay, who we just obviously Wrinkle in Time, is going to closing in a deal with Warner Brothers and DC to direct a big budget screen adaptation of a property called The New Gods. Adam, are you familiar with The New Gods at all?
I think vaguely. If you go ahead and start explaining it, and I'll tell you.
Okay, well, I'll just go through a little bit of it. The New Gods were created by Jack Kirby for DC, because he was at DC for a little bit. And there's apparently not going to be any connection to any other of the DC worlds being explored in the films right now, according to the Warner Brothers studio boss, Toby Emmerich, and his newly installed DC production president, Walter Hamada, are moving forward with a new approach to filmmakers on their DC-based properties. Sounds like a good idea. So let's go over to the New Gods. This is a synopsis of what New Gods kind of is. I was like, this probably would explain it the best. So, The New Gods was the genesis of the uber-villain Darkseid, also called Fourth World. The Kirby creation debuted in a trilogy of related comics written and drawn by Kirby that were published in the very early 1970s. New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle. The New Gods came into existence after the world of the gods of classical mythology were destroyed during Ragnarok. The deities inhabit 2 planets. One is New Genesis, which is like a lush paradise, kind of like a heaven. And the other one is Apocalypse, which sounds like Dante's Inferno. But Darkseid rose over one. And, do you know who, Barda is? You ever heard of, Barda? She's, a real popular, god character. She usually is seen with, she kind of looks like Wonder Woman if you had to put her in an alternate dimension. She has, she's like a gladiator warrior.
Yeah.
They discuss a lot of the New Gods in, the Superman animated TV show that they did, back when the Batman one was running.
So is this... Because I know that the DC universe has some characters from, religious myth.
Yes.
And
that's kind of like
Samson
what this
comes from, and...
Yes, I believe that's where these kind of characters are coming from.
Okay.
Where, yes, you'll have, Samson, you have Darkseid, which is pretty much the devil, and and then he has a subservient character called Granny. Have you ever heard of that? No. It's a grandma looking character with a deep voice.
No, I'm not too familiar with Darkseid. I know that he's technically one of the most powerful villains in comic books in general, isn't he?
Yes, he's Superman's go-to villain, maybe besides obviously Lex Luthor. Yeah. He's the one that actually can go toe-to-toe, beat the shit out of Superman, and there was even a stint in the animated show.
Doesn't he take on the entire Justice League at one point too?
Oh, multiple times he takes on the. I mean, as I've been mentioning, I've been watching a lot of the DC animated universe stuff.
Yeah.
There's like 3 episodes. There's 3 movies where he takes on straight up the Justice League, all of them.
From the little bit that I know, I remember him being like DC's Thanos. I don't know if he came before Thanos or not.
Yeah, but he is like that equivalent.
But he's like that character. But he's actually stronger than Thanos would be in the like if they had combined.
If Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, yeah. That's pretty much what he would be.
I just remember seeing memes of Darkseid or Darkseid, whatever his name is, telling Thanos that he couldn't take him without his bitch mitten.
That's actually kind of what it is. Yeah, Thanos would not be able to probably take on Darkseid without the Infinity Gauntlet. And it just seems that, they have had a lot of interpretations of these characters throughout different variations of DC that you'd be like, oh, I didn't even know they were new gods. And so I think that honestly, from what the way they make this seem is that this Jack Kirby run is like super trippy and super weird. And honestly, from one of the big compliments from the Wrinkle in Time with Ava DuVernay was that it looked really good, and it's supposed to be really weird and awkward like to film.
Yeah.
So apparently that's going to be the good one. My only biggest concern is that Cario Salem was sent to help develop the screenplay, and he has 2 screenplays to his name. One of them was the score with Robert De Niro and Edward Norton, and the other one was Chasing Mavericks, which was a fucking surf movie. And it was supposed to be fucking awful. And, like, that's who you picked for your fucking script? That guy? He's never done anything like that before, but he has 2 credits. I'm like, ugh. You got a really good director. Well, at least you got one for 1-0, and someone's good enough to say, like, that's a definitely good one.
Yeah.
I hope that this is good. I do like that it's not having any involvement with the DCEU, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck this means for the DCEU. Like, are they canceling it or what? Because this is the second property that has no involvement with it now. Because the Joker movie that Martin Scorsese's like producing has nothing to do with it. Suicide Squad is not
connected either.
Suicide Squad 2?
Yeah, I thought that original movie wasn't connected.
No, Batman's in it.
Yeah, but I thought it's not directly connected to the DCEU.
No, it totally is, because Ben Affleck's Batman is in it, which puts it in there.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't connected.
Oh, no, yeah, it's totally because they're even talking about at the beginning of the movie how, like, oh, Superman is gone. We need someone who, if something comes down and fights us. So, no, it's directly connected. The DCEU consists of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, and now Aquaman. And then we don't know what Shazam is going to be doing. We don't know what this Joker film is. And we don't know what New Gods is. New Gods is technically separate. And then we don't know what the fuck's going on with this Matt Reeves directed Batman either. It's just a mess. They just really need to get all their ducks in a row. But hey, Ava DuVernay seems good, at least from what I'm hearing visually about the characters. And visually, it sounds like it's a good made match. At least for this type of property. I like seeing different properties I don't really know about, because obviously one of my favorite properties now is Guardians of the Galaxy, and I had no fucking idea who Guardians of the Galaxy were prior to it.
Prior to the film.
Yeah, prior to the film. So I like seeing these new properties. I mean, it's just, can this movie succeed with the bad track record that is DC right now? It's an odd, what do you do? Like, how do you keep these films going with the track record that's been going on with it? So I don't know, but hey, hopefully it's really good. I mean, I want it to be good because I'd like to see Darkseid done right, because he could be badass as hell. All right, Adam, we're going on to our next topic, which actually is not really game or movie related. It's actually toy related. Unfortunately, Toys R Us is going to be closing all of its stores.
Yeah, 31,000 people losing their jobs.
Oh, I know. 735 stores in the United States, according to court documents filed early Thursday. 31,000 workers in the United States will be laid off. Apparently,
they're not gonna be laid off. They're gone. Their jobs are gone.
well, isn't that pretty much laid off?
No, laid off. You always have the chance. I mean,
The store's
doesn't
closed.
happen.
I mean, they're not literally being
Yeah.
like on record. It doesn't say you're fired. They lost their job, so they're laid off.
I wouldn't say they're laid off.
Well, what do? You just lost your job?
Yeah, you just lost your job.
So on a resume, what would you put that as?
The company went out of business.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it's. I mean, I know people who have lost parts of their when certain divisions close in businesses.
But does the business continue operating?
The business continues operating,
Then
but
that
those
would be
people
laid
that
off.
lost their but we don't know what the business is. The
Toys
business
R Us
being
is done.
sold. Yeah, Toys R Us is pretty much done. Either way, in September, Toys R Us filed for bankruptcy, hoping to shed debt and reinvest in its stores. And at the time, Toys R Us disclosed that it had above $5 billion in debt and was spending about $400 million a year just to service it. The company said that it would have to spend several $100 million just to keep its remaining stores open through the end of the year. And because Toys R Us is already burning nearly $100 million a month, no buyer would come forward to save Toys R Us, and the company acknowledged its creditors are getting antsy. Oh, Jesus. The company will run out of cash by the end of end of May. The company noted in its filing, so it's determined the best way to pay back its creditors is to liquidate the remaining inventory in its remaining U.S. stores. Toys R Us has not made a full year profit since 2012. Oof. And has lost $2.5 billion since then. And it's reported a loss of $953 million in the first 9 months of last year alone. Sales during the recent holiday period, which the company is yet to report, are believed to have been just as bad.
So we're going to speculate on why this is happening?
No, I just kind of wanted to just fill everybody in with all the details of it. But I mean, I know why, a big part of why it was failing. I mean, look at any toy, anything, they're all gone. Toys R Us was the last main toy place.
KB Toys left in the 90s, in the late 90s.
I mean, KB was pretty much based out of malls, wasn't it? Am I wrong?
It had some independent locations, but it was mostly in strip malls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I remember KB Toys was all through malls. So Toys R Us, Adam. I mean, what do you think? Like, what happened? What do you think happened? At least I have an idea. I mean, I was pretty much told why it was pretty much going under, but what do you think is the cause?
Having $250,000 worth of Legos in every fucking store in stock.
Well, you ever seen the videos of people going around Toys R Us pretty much saying like, "Yep, Star Wars doesn't sell anymore," and it's just nonstop like all these Star Wars toys, and they say how Star Wars is like not a profitable toy brand anymore. That only people who buy Star Wars are like
people our age.
Yeah, like,
it really is. And that's true. Young kids mostly don't want toys anymore.
I know, and that's so fucking shameful. I love toys. Look at our fucking display here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all toys. It's literally all fucking toys.
But we also don't play with them.
No, we don't play with them, but hell, if I was a kid, I'd be playing with these.
Fuck yeah. But
come on, if I had the fucking Dragon Zord whenever I was a kid.
Parents don't raise their kids the same way anymore.
No, they just give them an iPad and say, "Here you go."
Yeah, and I'm not. Listen, we're not here to criticize. If that's your parenting style, that's your parenting style. But
no, I'm just saying that's how I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah, there's a marked decrease in the imaginative nature of children because they're not. We're reducing traditional modes of play to collectible items for adults.
I will say though, I kind of agree with the imagination part, but only thing I gotta disagree with is that kids are smart as shit now. I think kids are smart as fuck. They may not be the most socially, acceptable. Adapted? Yeah, adapted, but God, they're smart as fuck, man. These kids make me feel dumb as shit. Like, I see
You're alone in this.
You think, what? That you don't think that kids are, like, super smart now because they have access to all this information? I mean, they're not just sitting there playing fucking Ninja Fruit. I mean, some kids actually do stuff on the internet. Yeah. Like, productive and informative stuff. They look up stuff with, like, Wikipedia, and they just know stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say Wikipedia is an excellent source, but...
Fuck you. I think it's totally... I think Wikipedia is great. I know it's not the most reputable source. But look, if I'm looking up something and I see something really questionable,
Well, there was an argument in a Facebook group that I'm in a couple weeks ago where this person went onto a Wikipedia article and edited it so that it matched the argument that they were making. And then somebody went and looked at the edit history and was like, "You just edited this right now."
Jeez.
Yeah. So
for the most part, I'd say you can get most of your good information from Wikipedia. But yeah, there's gonna be that one asshole that fucks with it really.
I mean, you're always gonna get personal bias too, because like there's.
Yeah, you can read whenever there's a personal bias in there.
Yeah, there's a difference between objective fact and like subjective, opinion or feeling on an issue, and it's not always easy to pick them out, but sometimes you can. I'd say you're better looking at like peer-reviewed information than Wikipedia.
Yeah, obviously.
Wikipedia is good for a grade school book report.
Yeah, definitely. Even though if they caught us using Wikipedia in high school, I mean, hey, when's it going to be in that schools are going to accept Wikipedia as a source? I mean,
when the information on it's actually fucking verified.
Yeah, because I don't care what anybody says. Nobody didn't just use Wikipedia in high school. Get the fuck out of here. I used Wikipedia.
No, I did.
Time. Yeah,
I used Wikipedia for a very long time, and was shocked to realize that a lot of the historical information I thought I knew was incorrect when I went and verified it with actual historical text.
I like how we're going into this debate, even though this is all about Toys R Us. So Toys R Us, Toys R Us, though.
But anyways, kids are, for the most part, kids are smarter. Yeah,
I think they're smarter, but yeah, it does seem that the imagination's kind of lacking. I mean, I always was playing with, Star Wars figures all over the place.
Yeah.
I'd make Rebel bases all over the place.
Legos, fucking toy cars, Transformers.
Yeah, TMNT.
Fucking, yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers action figures.
G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm. Remember them Hot Wheels tracks that you could like do loop-de-loop?
Oh, yeah. Because you'd have the little machine.
A launcher,
Yeah, the little machine with the little the wheels on it that would shoot those fuckers so quickly. Yeah, I remember those. Those were great.
Fucking, you remember laser tag and fucking super soakers and shit?
Nerf.
Do they even make that shit? They still make Nerf.
Super soakers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely make. They have to make super soakers. I never heard anything that isn't super.
I just haven't seen
Nerf.
I've seen. It's the same company.
Yeah, it's the same company. I mean, yeah.
I don't know if they still make them. I haven't seen one in a while. I've seen Nerf. I've seen plenty of Nerf.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it was getting to the point where they were making fucking sniper rifle super soakers to a point. Like you'd have
You remember the backpack one?
Yeah.
Oh
you'd
God,
lug like 4 gallons around and just.
Yeah, but you were never out of water.
Yeah, you'd never. I remember whenever you'd have the loading equipment station, you'd have the backpack, and if you put it down, you could put your super soaker right there and just load it up.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so great. The other thing I always remembered from Toys R Us that I always loved was I always wanted to do the Nickelodeon shopping cart run.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do that because I just wanted. I was like, man, I'm just gonna go to the Dragon Ball Z figures and just throw them in that box. You've ever seen my pile of Dragon Ball Z figures from when I was a kid?
Yeah, you have a huge box of it. That's how I got Deborah. You gave me your Deborah.
I gave you my Deborah, but I have a whole box of just like every random one. I have Pui Pui and Yakon. Okay?
You had everything.
I had everything. I had Spopovich.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't make a Yamu. It sounds like we're speaking like literally Japanese here, but yeah, they didn't make a Yamu. But I had a.
We would be, wouldn't we?
Technically, but like I'm trying to think of like all the random shit that I could get. What are the most obscure ones? I have a Yajirobe figure with I have a Chaozu figure.
Yeah.
They only sold Yamcha never in a fighting gear. They sold him in this fucking yellow ass suit. Like, I have Yamcha, but he's in this yellow suit with short haircut whenever he didn't fight anymore. Yeah. They just were like, yeah, well, I guess we need to throw a Yamcha figure out there. Fuck it. Who cares? Throw him out there.
Or the baseball outfit. Did he play baseball for a while?
Yeah, he did play baseball for a little bit. God, I'm trying to think of like some of the weird, just some of the weird offshoot figures that I had. I mean, Pui Pui and Yakon were probably like why the fuck? They were in one episode.
Yeah.
Why do you have them? Oh, I'm just trying to think. I used to make a King Cold action figure out of a Captain Ginyu armor, a Great Saiyaman cape, and then Frieza level 2.
Yeah.
And that was my King Cold action figure, so I could recreate Trunks fucking destroying them both.
Yeah.
I have a robot Frieza and a regular Frieza.
What about what the fuck is his name?
Huh. I mean, trust me, man. I was at Toys R Us all the time buying Dragon Ball Z figures.
Is it General Sao?
Huh? Oh, Mercenary Tao.
Mercenary Tao.
Yeah, they never made a Mercenary Tao figure, at least to my knowledge. If they did, it was part of the Dragon Ball line, which I only had like 2 figures from because the Dragon Ball line kind of sucked. I probably would have got a Mercenary Tao if they did, but they just were releasing really dumb shit like General Blue, but like not in that cool like art like uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't really say it's cool because it was clearly intended to look like an SS like Nazi outfit. Yeah. But I mean, he was just sitting there shirtless. That's probably why they did it. They probably didn't want to put him in his outfit because it looked too much like an SS type of uniform. I mean, I'm trying to think of like some of the weird shit I have. I mean, I have every single one of the androids, even including Dr. Gero android with his hat that comes off and you can see his brain underneath.
I think I had a is 16 the chubby one?
No, 19 is the chubby one. 16 is the green one with the arm that come off and would blast them.
The one with the mohawk, right?
Yeah, the one with the mohawk.
Yeah, I had that one. I had the chubby guy.
I mean,
I had a Saiyaman.
I mean, I had my 3 favorite figures were my Raditz, my Nappa, and my Vegeta, and I would just pretend to go on adventures as all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Doing their shit, because there was that time period where all 3 of them were just going around fucking shit up. Mm-hmm. And those were the shits. I always did the stuff in the universe that I never got to see. I never really recreated the action fights. But hey, I mean, in my room I have a couple of my figures, but I only have the 2 that I really like, which most people hate, are my Videl, my Great Saiyaman figure. I love my Great Saiyaman figure. Fuck everyone, I love the Great Saiyaman.
Yeah, I had him.
So it is kind of sad because we're like, now that Toys R Us fucked itself by giving it like outsourcing its toys to Amazon to sell for
That's
them.
True. You didn't talk about that. About that.
That's a big main reason for some people who might not know. Amazon, while it was still kind of a lesser known company, was just kind of growing, wasn't the conglomerate that it was, but people were like, oh, you could buy stuff on there. That's where you buy your like CDs,
it was
music,
mostly books and CDs,
furniture,
and
book, and people were like, oh, Toys R Us is like, oh, well, let's just make them do our dirty work because we got to get on this online craze too. And instead of making their own website, they pretty much said, hey, Amazon, sell our shit for us. And then people got accustomed to buying toys on Amazon and not going into stores. And then Toys R Us was like, oh my God, what have we done? And then they had to make their own website, which ToysRUs.com sucks. You couldn't even find anything. Even when I typed in Amiibo, I never got the most recent one. That was the only time I ever used the Toys R Us website.
I think I do remember their search function being fucking
terrible. And then it took forever for them to just say, yes, this is in store, yes, this is not, or no, this is not. That basic feature that like everything has now was not.
Yeah, this is in stock at the store. Yeah.
Because Toys R Us got into this bullshit mentality that Blockbuster did and said, people don't want to watch things at home. They want to come to the store and look around and touch and feel everything. I'm like, that just shows that your upper management is just fucked when that's their mentality. So
yeah, they're stuck in living in the 1990s.
Yeah, it's just sad though. I mean, all these jobs that are gonna be lost and all these empty buildings that you're just gonna see. I mean, I remember Toys R Us commercials all over the place when I was younger. I mean, I can't
remember the last time I saw Jeffrey the Giraffe though.
No, I honestly, I wonder if it's gonna be worth something someday. But I have a Monopoly set. That is a Toys R Us exclusive that one of the pieces was Jeffrey the Giraffe. So I wonder if that'll ever be worth anything someday. Probably not, but I mean, it's still a cool little piece of history. But yeah, it just fucking sucks.
Well, maybe some of the the high-ranking CEOs and upper management that got a $16 million bonus.
Fuck them.
Can pay you for that special edition.
Oh my God,
Toys R Us.
that is.
Monopoly
Don't you just hate when you hear that shit?
Oh my
when
God,
you hear that, like
31,000 people are losing their jobs,
and the people that fucked it up are getting a bonus to make sure they're living comfortably the rest of their life. Yep. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. You fucked it up. That's
you know it's fucked. I guarantee they'll be at another company in 6 months.
I just hope that. I'm thinking that Yeah, probably. No. You think the people that ran Toys R Us into the ground?
It happens all the time. They
think?
They just jump from one company to another because it's all a big fucking club with them rich motherfuckers.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's just a shame because now there's no more toy stores. I mean, I would every once in a while pop into Toys R Us and see what they had.
So would I. The closest Toys R Us to me was right next to an IKEA.
Yeah.
So anytime I went through IKEA to go to their food court or to buy a piece of furniture,
Just go over there and like hang out.
I would check and see like if they had anything cool.
Which they used to have those. They had a bunch of cool little like Nintendo figures every once in a while, and so I would stop in and see what they. I mean, I will say this though. Toys R Us, you always had the worst game selection. I don't know what the hell was up with you guys, but you never had a good selection of games.
No, not even
I don't
in
know
the fucking
what,
90s they didn't.
No, they didn't. They had nothing. They only had a good Game Boy
But
section.
you know what, though? They always had $250,000 for the Lego sets.
Yeah, their Lego sets
But
were
actually,
insane.
the idea for me to get all 4 of these Star Fox figures came from a Toys R Us. I don't know if I was with you or if I was with Tegan.
I remember you had sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'm buying all these Star Fox figures."
So I went into Toys R Us and they have 3 of the 4 figures. And
were they missing Falco?
Yeah, they were missing Falco.
Of course.
So, which is the one that I would want the most, anyways. But so I went up and asked them, like, "Hey, do you guys know if you can get this, or if you guys ever had this or carried this, or like, is it sold out? What?" Like, "Oh no, we don't have any of that information." So I'm like, "Okay, well,
yeah, because
I just didn't buy the other 3. I'm like, I'll find them online. Fuck you."
What happens when you go to like a Target, or you go to a Best Buy, or let's just even go something simpler like a Barnes and Noble? Whenever you say, "Hey, do you have this?" Guess what they do? They look up on their computers and say, "This is not available at our location. We can either order it, get it shipped here, or we
have it available at this store, which is across the town." Or something like that.
Toys R Us never did that because they only had little cash registers. They never implemented that stuff.
Had a good inventory system.
No. They were just these big giant things that like these big buildings that were great in the 90s. Like seeing these big giant toy stores was so cool. But yeah, you could just see that it just was writing on the wall. Like, you can tell a place is starting to fall apart, like Kmart, whenever you see that the floor tile is stained brown from all the rust and that they can't fix, and that the floors are like that same shit color that they were in the 90s. Like, you know that a place is in trouble whenever that's it. And you can see that even like someone like, I don't know why, but like, GameStop is now becoming its own fucking toy store, and Best Buy starting to add a crap load of toys too, while someone like Target and Walmart seem to be kind of scaling their toy sections down. You go into a Target, their stuff's like nowhere.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you, as much as I hate Walmart as a company, those people know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Their only focus is on making profit, so if something becomes less profitable, they're going to scale it back.
Yep.
GameStop, however, has some of the worst fucking upper management. We both know. We both work for that company. They have some of the worst fucking upper management. If you're invested in the stock market in GameStop, pull out. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you need to... But I'm not going to say you're an idiot, but you really need to look and see who's running that company because they're really running that into the ground.
They're dumb as shit. Even if their sales are up right now, which I think they're doing better than they were before their last management shakeup.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I try not to keep up with it.
But, yeah, you can see the physical toy store is dying down, and what's GameStop doing? Ramping it up. Mm-hmm. They have no they think that they're going to pull in this market that Toys R Us is losing and that Walmart's losing by scaling back. That doesn't exist. The market doesn't exist.
I went to a GameStop maybe about a few months ago. They had just released the 2DS Pokeball edition.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, you guys apparently have this in your location. Can you possibly look for it for me?" They're like, "Oh, we got to find it." I'm like, "Wait, what? You don't know where a $150 game system is? Like, what are you doing?" So they start looking it up on their little iPad, and all it was just fucking merchandise with Pokemon coming down. They could not find the 2DS. They're like typing like 2DS, and all that's coming up is like the game or like 2-pack cards or stuff like that.
Yeah.
They could not find it. And then eventually I walked away, and I was like, okay, they clearly don't have it. And then I went to another GameStop, and I was just like, okay, it's definitely here. And then I went in there, and I was like, "Hey, where are your 2DS systems?" They were like, "We have them hidden behind here." I'm like, "Okay, do you got the Pokeball one?" Yeah, let me check. And they found it. I'm not saying that every GameStop is that efficient. But the one I went to was just a complete clusterfuck mess because they didn't know where all the shit was. There was just so many goddamn toys. They didn't know where the fucking game was. They lost $150 because they have like Pokeball cups, Pokemon cards, Pokemon toys, Pokemon stuffed animals, Pokemon everything.
Yeah.
Like, there was a point where they're selling Christmas ornaments.
They sell socks in GameStop, bro.
Yeah, they sell shirts. They sell socks. They sell pajama pants. They sell, like, everything but but when you want Pokemon the game, nope, no way. So, I mean, that's kind of the unfortunate part, though, is that, yeah, now it seems like that all these other corporations are going to be, like, kind of, like, sneaking in and trying to take over the toy market, but in a smaller scale.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, so... Oof.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is that economically the United States is heading for a downturn. And this is part of it. Malls closing down, big box stores closing down, Kmart.
Yeah, everything's online.
Everything's online now.
We're not saying anything new that hasn't been already said before, but yeah, it's
just
online now.
This kind of stuff is going to continue to happen. Eventually it's going to hit stores that we give more of a shit about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look what, like, the Exchange is doing. The Exchange is just trying to get all these, like, pop toys and merchandise in their stores now. And it's like, right now, I feel like the only thing keeping them is their game selection and their record selections. Because no one's buying their CDs anymore unless you're, like really dedicated. And, I mean,
I buy CDs because I play them in a car. But...
Yeah, but you're one of you're very few. I mean, all I do is pay $15 a month, and I have all the music on Amazon Music.
That's true.
So it's like, why would I bother getting another CD when I can just type in? I don't even have to type in. I just say play this, and it goes into the app and plays it. Almost anything.
Yeah.
Not very good though on live music for some weird reason. But so, R.I.P. Toys R Us. I'm actually gonna miss you because I'm gonna miss just rummaging around your store and seeing what you have in, but hey, I mean, that's sign of the times.
Yeah. Need
to adapt or die. Okay, Adam, let's go on to some games. After that.
Thank God.
Yeah. So here we go. So there's been a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog talk coming out in the next, this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But, so they just did an announcement for the Sega Genesis Classics Collection coming to PS4 and Xbox, but not the Switch. So it's going to have...
it might be delayed on the Switch.
Possibly, but so far there's no date for it.
I think the reason why the Switch is getting ports a little late is because the system architecture is so different from the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 360.
Well, why do they keep saying that the Switch was so easy to develop for then?
Because it's an Android-based architecture.
So why can't they? I don't know this stuff, but why can't they just port it over? Why is it
the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 360 are more similar to a PC architecture than like an Android.
Yeah, but
a tablet.
But to be fair though, I mean these are just. I mean, so the game's just gonna have 50 games on it from the Sega Genesis.
I'm saying it might be 6 months, it might be 3 months.
All right. Well, right now
it'll come to the Switch.
Right now there's just currently no Switch adaptation. So it's coming out on May 29th, and it's gonna have 50 games, including mirror mode, achievements, multiplayer, visual filters, and rewind to these games. And, it's pretty much the Sega Genesis collection.
But more games.
But more.
Yeah, because there's only 32 games, I want to say, in the
something
Genesis
like
collection.
that. I mean, it's everything you could think of, like Gunstar Heroes, all the Shinobi, the 2, 3, and 4 of Phantasy Star, all the Sonics, Alex Kidd, Altered Beast,
Kid Chameleon's probably on there.
Kid Chameleon, Vector Man. Golden Axe,
Echo the Dolphin series,
all that stuff. All those good games, they're great.
Yeah.
I would just prefer to have it on the Switch because obviously I've said it 1,000 times. I feel like I'm repeating myself like a goddamn record. But the D-pad on the Switch,
superior.
It's just so much better than the 4 arrows. I just like the little buttons. They click. They feel great. But no item or price is currently listed on his Amazon, but it's probably going to be.
I think the last one was $29.99. So I'm guessing
$29.39, something on
somewhere around there. Yeah, $39.99 or $29.99. That's my guess.
I definitely think this will be cool one to pick up. To have these in a nice HD collection, because the Genesis collection is still probably one of the best selling. I mean, it has to be. I'd love to know what the sales record on that thing. That thing has to be one of the best. They still sell that new, and it still sells. The Sega Genesis collection. Let me see. What do they call that? The Sonic Collection.
Sonic Sega Genesis Collection, I think it's called.
Let's see. Sega Genesis Collection sales. I'm just pulling this out of my ass. We don't even know if this is going to be. God, there's so many good games. The only problem I had a bummer about is that it does not so far say that there's going to be any unlockable extra games from the Master System or the arcade, like the Arcade Shinobi and the Space Harrier. It looked like they had Space Harrier in the trailer, but
but it might be the Genesis version.
Probably, but there's no Phantasy Star Master System or Fantasy Zone. I mean, unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything about what its sales number were. At least were. But, I mean, the game still goes for about $20 new. So, I mean, it's still a popular title. Uh-huh. So, I think that's super interesting. That's great. But, so I'm also going to add another Sonic thing that they also said that...
Sonic Mania Plus?
Yes, Sonic Mania Plus. Physical version. It was revealed at a physical release of the existing game that packed in some brand new content, including Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel as playable characters, expanded version of the 4-player competition mode where you go head-to-head with other players. And the one thing that just irritates me is that this will be available in a physical package this summer for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, but it's notable that the only other physical version of the game was the Collector's Edition, which came with a digital copy of the game. And that was the only, physical form you could get.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, I have it too. But it actually kind of irritates me.
Yeah, when I opened it up and saw that there was no disc, I was a little pissed.
I was pissed off, but I was also really pissed that I'm like, wait a minute, so now I can get the physical version, and I have to buy it again to get the physical version?
Well, I think if you already have the game downloaded, this is, I believe
I
heard this is a free update.
Oh,
you can buy the physical version. That's what I heard. I'm not 100% on that.
Okay, because they're saying this new Plus version includes a holographic packaging, a 32-page art book, and a reversible cover that makes it look like a Genesis game.
Yeah.
That fucking annoys me. I spent what was that?
$49.99
on that collector's edition on a $20 game, and now they're releasing the physical version. That pisses me off. That really irritates me. That I'm buying these games digitally and then they re-release them physically with new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's God damn it, really gonna make me do this again?
Yeah.
I just think that's so that's not cool to me.
One of the nice things about the modern era is that when they do this kind of shit, of course you remember Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo days, how many versions of Street Fighter there were.
Yeah.
And you had to buy the new game cartridge to get the new content. You don't have to do that anymore. It can be offered in free or paid DLC now.
But from what it's saying, it doesn't sound like...
I swear, I don't know where I heard it, but I swear that you are supposed to get these two new characters as free DLC. It's supposed to be in an update in the game.
If it's a free update, okay, then I'll shut my fucking mouth. Because I get everything.
But if they're going to force you to buy this new game, that's a little shitty.
That's shitty. If that is. Because they were emphasizing 2 new playable characters in this plus mode.
And new levels.
And new levels.
Yeah.
And new competition modes. I didn't do the competition mode. But yeah, new levels, new gameplay features, and 2 new playable characters. If that's not free content and I have to pay extra for it, that pisses me off to no belief. It really, really does. And then the last small one is that they might be doing a Sonic Racing Transformed, either a redone one or a sequel, which I thought that was one of the best games on the Wii U. I had it on there. I thought that was one of the best racing games on the Wii U.
Better than Mario Kart, in my opinion, but I'm probably alone.
Shut the fuck up. Mario Kart 8 was so fucking good. That's one of the best games on that system. Or that's actually one of my favorite Mario Karts. That's 64 is my favorite, but that's a lot of people just don't like that because if you didn't grow up with 64, it's a piece of shit, and I fully understand that.
Well, it's the 64 controllers.
Yeah, well, I love it with the 64. I can play it with that.
Yeah.
Most people usually go with Double Dash as their favorite, which Double Dash is not one of my favorites because I didn't have a GameCube. But Mario.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I had a GameCube for a little bit. And it wasn't until later on, and then I just played it, and I was like, this isn't Mario Kart 64. But I really liked Advanced Circuit on the GBA. That is a really good Mario Kart game. Mario Kart on the DS was really good, along with Mario Kart 7.
On the 3DS.
On the 3DS. Mario Kart Wii, I thought was a piece of shit. I really hated it. It just was not built very well. It clearly was meant for the motion controls, and I just cannot do it with the motion controls.
Yeah, motion controls suck.
I just thought they perfected it with Mario Kart 8. But a Mario Kart R, if they do a sequel, great. That's awesome, because that's a great...
You mean Sonic Racing?
What'd I say?
You said Mario Kart R. You were combining
Sonic
R with Mario Kart, and we're not talking about either of those two games.
Sonic Boom, Sonic... Oh, no. The Sonic Boom is actually...
Sonic Racing is what you're thinking.
Super Sonic Racing.
I like that game. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Oh, that game is... The ground
It's not good.
The ground is... If I think that Grand Theft Auto 4 is made of butter, then the ground on Super Sonic
made of
R
buttered ice.
is buttered ice. Frozen butter. So, hey, hopefully Sonic has a good year because... did you play Sonic Forces?
Sonic Forces? Yeah. It's all right.
It's definitely better than 06.
Yeah, it's better than 06, hands down. But, yeah, I mean...
Is it better than Colors? Because I thought Colors was a really good game. Or Lost World.
I never touched Colors or Lost World.
Oh, Lost World was trying to be Mario Galaxy, but...
Yeah.
And I thought it was fun.
Which is why I didn't touch it, though.
It's better. It's not... Okay. I kind of enjoyed it more than Mario Galaxy, but I don't like Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. So I kind of enjoyed Lost World a little bit more because it was just... I guess it was just a little more linear, and I just didn't like the whole... I don't like when you go upside down. It's the main reason why I didn't like the game Prey, and I just don't like games where you go upside down.
Fuck you about that.
You only like it because of the character is Native American in it, you fuck. You don't like the gameplay. The gameplay is awful. The gameplay's terrible.
What are you talking about? It's just Doom.
But the upside down shit just does not work. It's so dumb.
He's such a crybaby.
It's so stupid. Fuck you. I'm not a crybaby. I don't like Prey.
You're tearing up right now, you fucking crybaby.
I tried playing that game, and I tried my best, but man, I was getting sick, and I felt like I was getting like vertigo whenever I was looking at this me upside down. I just did not like it. It's making me sick.
Fucking baby.
I do agree that it did have a cool like Native American like backstory and the whole powers and stuff like that. But the game sucks. Stick with Wampum.
Which is really a Native American game. It's just altered that way for the U.S.
Yeah. Okay, Adam. Our last topic of the day is going to be 2 new officially dated and confirmed titles were
You missed something.
What'd I miss?
There's a new Sonic animated series coming out based on the Sonic Mania lore.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Nope. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, that sounds... Is it going to be like that animation style like they have in the...
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Great.
Yep.
That's really exciting to me.
Yeah, it's called Sonic Mania Adventure.
Cool. Good job. Yeah. I love that all started from... Sonic Mania just started as a guy who just really liked Sonic, got hired, and made a great game.
Yeah.
And they finally are getting rid of the dumb Sonic Boom because, holy God. Did you ever actually watch Sonic Boom?
No.
It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, I think I got like 3 episodes and I was like, I can't watch any more of this. This is just awful. It's you know how like SpongeBob is just so hectic and crazy, but it's funny?
Yeah.
The Sonic Boom was just
but not funny.
Hectic and crazy, but not funny, and just like you're just like, what are they doing? Why does Knuckles look like a weird mutant like mole?
He looks like a fucking refrigerator with arms.
Yeah, it's like he looks like the animation when you see that power thirst. Like, I know a lot of people probably don't. I'll post a picture on the video feed, but of the power thirst guy, because it is just, that's what Knuckles looks like to me. He's just way too top heavy.
Yeah.
So no, I'm actually, thank you for mentioning that. I did not know that's what. Is that coming this year?
I think it's coming up pretty soon. I think they're gonna run like a short pilot series on YouTube just to gauge interest. But I mean, I would suggest that you watch it and subscribe to that channel and shit. Yeah, because if you want good Sonic content.
Yeah, I would love. I love Sonic. I mean, I've always been more of a Sonic fan than.
Still no Adventure 3.
Yeah, well, wasn't Heroes technically classified as like Adventure 3, but like unofficially?
I mean, I guess if you like bad games.
I know it's not a good game, but it was the closest thing you were going to get to an adventure game. Sonic Heroes, I always thought was kind of like touted as Sonic Heroes was touted as like Sonic Adventure 3, just unofficially titled that. Like they didn't give it that title. Like it should have been Sonic Adventures Heroes or something like that.
I'm not satisfied with that explanation.
Well, that's all they gave, so we'll deal with it. Okay. So, going on to the last topic of the day is the 2 new officially dated and confirmed titles that were released over the last couple days. The first one was Shadow of Tomb Raider, which is the sequel to Rise of the Tomb Raider and the 2013 reboot, which is what the new movie is actually kind of like playing off of, is that original reboot.
Yeah.
The game will release on September 14th this year on Xbox One and PS4 and PC simultaneously. I wonder why they would do that. Maybe because they had a fucking disastrous year whenever it came with Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox only. What the fuck was that decision? That was such a... I get it. Microsoft paid out a lot.
Microsoft has money, and that's how they bought that exclusivity, that timed exclusivity. But the game didn't make any money on the Xbox because nobody fucking cares.
Nobody has an Xbox One. Like...
If you do, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know why I'm saying that. My roommate, who's literally like 2 doors over, is literally playing Fortnite on Xbox One right now. So I mean,
but that's what the Xbox One is. It's a Fortnite and Netflix machine.
Well, I use my PS4 for Netflix. I'm not saying. Here's the thing:
your
Xbox
PS4
just start coming out with titles, and I'll buy one. Just make some games I want to play.
Yeah, like hey, you remember that idea that you were playing with about bringing Phantom Dust back? Yeah, I would have bought an Xbox for that.
Yeah.
I hands down would have bought an Xbox for that.
Give me some better, give me a reason to buy it. State of Decay 2 is getting pretty up there, but how about you actually come out with a good Halo game?
How about you come out with a good game, period?
They have good games on there, but not enough to get me to if Crackdown ends up being the good game that it looks like it could be.
Crackdown is in development fucking hell right now.
I know.
Just hold your breath for right now.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying. I hope that Crackdown eventually does happen, because if it does, I'll be excited, because I actually do like the Crackdown franchise. I mean, the only reason why I bought Crackdown, I bought a $60 game to play the Halo 3 demo that came on it. The 30-day beta.
You're not alone in that.
Everybody did.
I never would have discovered Zone of the Enders if I wasn't interested in the MGS2 demo. Well, and it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
no, hey, sometimes it works. Like, they could have put that on any piece of shit title and people would have bought it. But I actually thought Crackdown was a pretty decent, fun title. But everyone just kind of shit on it and were like, oh, fuck this game. They sold it back as soon as the beta was done. Mm-hmm. You can pick up both games now for like $5. Do it. Check out the first Crackdown. Crackdown 2 was a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah, not a big one, but I was just like, the first one was a little bit better, and they just didn't really do anything to change it up. So hopefully Crackdown 3 kind of fixes that issue. So Square Enix says that the game will be Lara Croft's defining moment as she becomes the Tomb Raider. So I don't know. I highly doubt that they're going to finish the trilogy off and just call it a day. I think this is one of the notable franchises that people actually do still pay money for to get the...
Yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider's always been a good franchise. I mean, I'm not a fan of the PS1 games, but they really didn't age well.
Yeah, they just didn't age well.
But I mean, it's a very popular series.
Well, yeah, it's a clearly popular series, but it was dying for a little bit. And then this reboot, they pretty much did like an Uncharted thing, but like did a great story with it.
Yeah. And
then Rise of the Tomb Raider was supposed to be really good. I only played the first one. I didn't play Rise of the Tomb Raider because it was on Xbox. Eventually, it came out, but it was a little too late.
Yeah, like your interest had died on it.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, well, game looked good. I mean, whenever the game's like $20, I'm going to totally grab it and pick it up and play it. But, yeah. Or it might give me a reason to pick it up if this Shadow of the Tomb Raider, as it gets closer, and if the hype's like really good for it. So, hey, please be good. I think it will be good. I mean, none of the games have been bad since they rebooted it, so I can't see why it would be a problem. Okay. So
even those little top-down games... We're not.
They're like a temple of like Osiris type of thing.
Yeah, and there was 2 of them altogether.
I never played any of those.
They were pretty good.
Aren't they like Diablo-ish kind of things? Where they're like dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, they're sort of like isometric top down, like, but you shoot fucking guns and jump. There's platforming elements and puzzles to solve and shit.
So they're actually pretty decent?
Yeah, they're all right. They're good. They're
worth a checkout?
I would recommend.
Because they're cheap. They're not expensive titles.
No, I think they're like $9.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're you can do like co-op in them too.
Yeah, sure. So I know you can do co-op. You definitely can. Okay, Adam, so this is the one that you're really excited about. Yakuza Kuwami 2.
Yeah.
So what is Yakuza Kuwami 2 for those who are uninitiated with the Yakuza franchise, and why should they be interested in Yakuza 2?
Wow, that's a big question.
There's not many people on this planet I would ask that to. You're one of the few people that I would actually trust you to at least explain it as best you could.
So, Yakuza 2 Kiwami, which I think the Kuwami is just some kind of Japanese term for a complete and total remake or something like that.
Okay.
Or because it's in other games too.
I mean, it's in the first Kuwami.
Yeah, but it was also like Koei made a game called Tokiden, and then they made they remade that game from the ground up with new content, and because the first one wasn't that good, and they called that one Kuwami.
It's extreme.
Okay.
Japanese word for extreme.
Yeah. So
which totally sums up Yakuza.
Yeah, it does. So Yakuza 2 is a ground up remake, or Yakuza 2 Kiwami, so a ground up remake of Yakuza 2, which was released, I want to say 2007-ish.
No, PS2.
On the PS2.
It wasn't it towards the end of the PS2 lifespan?
Yeah, it's towards the end of the PS2 lifespan.
Okay.
Personally, this is my favorite Yakuza game in terms of story content. It's by far the best one that they've released in terms of story content. They're all fantastic, but this is the best story still. I mean, I haven't played 6 yet.
Okay.
But this is the best story, hands down. So not only is this a ground-up remake using the new Dragon engine, which they're developing Yakuza 6 on, as well as the
Didn't they do the first Kiwami with that?
No.
No. Okay.
No, this is only the second game to come out on the Dragon engine.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that Fist of the North Star looks incredibly good.
6 first, then Kiwami, then probably Fist of the North Star if we get it in the United States.
Okay. If we get it, I hope we do.
I super hope we do.
We've gotten other ones in here, so I don't see why.
Yeah,
not,
we got the Hokuto Muso games from Koei. So not only is this a ground up remake on the Dragon engine of the best story content in the Yakuza franchise, they're also expanding the content like a lot. There's whole new chapters where you're going to be able to play as one of the characters, Goro Majima, like a fan series favorite.
Yeah, I actually had that as a note where it's a whole new campaign called The Truth of Goro Majima, where we get to play as the man himself and uncover how he became a construction business tycoon just before the events of Yakuza 2.
Yeah, which his character is fantastic. In the very first game...
Isn't he one of these figures?
Yeah, he's actually... This is him right here.
Oh, okay.
In his getup from Yakuza 2.
Okay. Yeah, for those who are only listening to the audio version... Adam has, 2 Yakuza figures?
Yeah, I have one of Kazuma Kiryu, which is the main protagonist throughout the entire series. And then one of Goro Majima, which is, again, a fan favorite
He's
character.
a biggie. Adam's a big. Every time Adam, a new Yakuza game was coming out, Adam would message me and be like, yo, man, you should go and pre-order this Yakuza game. I'm like, dude, I don't play Yakuza. Just pre-order it. It's fucking awesome. I'm like, okay, I'll pre-order it. And then Adam would show me clips of Yakuza 0 and Yakuza clips, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll keep buying these games just to support them.
They're absolutely fucking fantastic. But in the first game, in the American release, they did an English voiceover, which didn't really go over that well. But
to be fair, wasn't Michael Madsen in one of them?
No. The voice for Majima Goro was Mark Hamill.
Okay, but Michael Madsen is one of the bosses.
Oh, he might have been.
He's definitely one of the bosses.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think Stephen Bloom did Kazuma Kiryu's voice.
Okay.
But yeah, there was actual professional American actors that did, voices for the characters. But the localization of the first game, a lot of stuff was lost in translation. So
I'm sure.
They decided to continue with Japanese-only voiceovers from that point on.
So the game's going to be coming out on August 28th.
Yeah.
So when doesn't 6 come out in April 17th or something like that?
Yeah, I think.
I believe that's when it says my copy shipping of the 6th game.
Yeah, I want to see either April or May. Mm-hmm.
So here, Adam, do you want to go into why is Yakuza like? Because let's be fair, Yakuza actually has been getting more popular recently, I think, than it has been in the last like couple years.
I think
they just keep pumping out
part
games.
of that reason is rabid fans like myself.
True. But I think it's
keep
growing,
talking about it.
Yes, and I think new fans are picking them up. Like, what is this game? Like, people they get great reviews. I think 6 already has like an 8.6 currently on like GameSpot or some other website.
From people who imported.
People who got early copies.
Yeah.
Already who have been reviewing it. But so what is it? What is this big appeal? Why do people love the Yakuza?
In my opinion, it's just it's. A lot of people think, oh, it's just about the Yakuza, it's just about a crime story, but really there's a lot of like intense character development, and there's a lot of humanity to each of the characters, and the stories are generally pretty serious, but also the side content, which can pull you away from the story for hours, is generally entertaining in and of itself.
It seems like it's more goofy.
Yeah, it's goofy. Like there's one where you have to chase down this dude that's dressing up in his underwear and stealing women's panties from a clothesline. You have to beat him up.
Yeah, it's very weird shit.
There's all kinds of content like that. There's little circuit car racing, like remote control car racing mini games, billiards mini games, darts, karaoke. There in Zero there was telephone dating. There's all kinds of weird shit in this game. There's Sega arcades in every one of the games that you can visit and play authentic Sega arcade machines. I mean, obviously digital versions of them, but
yeah, obviously.
But
so
they're fantastic games.
What do you kind of like say to like anybody who says it's kind of like Shenmue?
It's similar. I think Shenmue's a lot slower paced, a lot more serious. There's less comedy in Shenmue, and I would classify it as maybe a spiritual successor to the idea of Shenmue.
Okay, where there's just a shitload of stuff to do around the town.
Yeah, where they're a hyper-detailed environment. Like, generally the maps aren't really that big, but there's so much to do in them and there's so much detail in them that they feel a lot bigger than they are.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Yakuza Kuwami 2 will be available both digitally and physically for $50. Pre-ordered and first-run copies will come in a special steelbook with artwork of Kazuma Kuryo.
Yeah.
And Ryoji Goda.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And as I said, August 28th. So I think both of us have this. I think you always send me the pre-order, so I think I have that already pre-ordered.
No, it's not live yet.
Oh, it's not?
No,
okay.
But I will send it to you when it goes live.
You'll send it to me.
Yeah, because if you never play any of the other Yakuza games, this is the one to play.
Do you need to play any of the other Yakuza games to get
it always helps, but you can jump in at any point.
Okay. Well,
any Yakuza game, you can jump in and play.
Oh, well, that's always a good thing about it.
The only one that I think that I would not recommend that with is Yakuza Dead Souls, which itself isn't really that good of a game. Mm-hmm. And it's a spin-off, which there's going to be characters in it. You're like, who the fuck? Why should I care about this guy?
Okay.
So... yeah, you can jump in at any point.
Oh, okay. Well,
but, I mean, right now on the PlayStation 4, they got Yakuza 0, which chronologically is the first game. Then Yakuza Kiwami, which is release-wise the first game. Now we have 2 coming out. 3, 4, and 5 were all on the PS3. I have no idea if they're going to remaster those or not. It seems like a natural move at this point, because it seems like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you'd think that.
And then 6 is going to be out in a month. So...
Wasn't 5 only digital?
5 was digital only in the United States, and that's really the point where people started getting rabid.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we had to do a lot of shoving around to get 5 even released in the United States.
You guys are acting like it's like you guys are like some cult trying to get Yakuza
I
games.
mean,
it doesn't seem like it's that far off.
There's a Facebook group called Yakuza Fan, which organizes all this shit. So
are you in it?
Yes, I am.
Wow, you are such a loser.
I'm also in Shenmue 500K.
Wow, you're an even bigger loser. Okay, so Adam, do you got anything else you want to add before we kind of do a closeout of the show? You usually like to jump in and say something. Or are you going to actually not say anything today?
I don't think I have anything to say.
Really? Okay, well then let's start off with this. Are you going to interrupt me?
No.
Okay. I'm just checking. Are you sure?
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Adam, where can people find us?
They can find us at www.facebook.com/GTAS podcast or www.twitter.com/GTAS podcast. They can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and we on Google Play yet?
Yes, we are on Google Play
We're on
now.
Google Play now. Woo!
Yeah.
I think, what do you have to search there? Just GTAS podcast?
No, whenever you, when you're looking, I have the links below the video.
Yeah.
So obviously you're listening to the audio version, you already got it. But if you're watching our YouTube version, you can go to our Facebook page. There's links to them there. There's links to them on the Twitter page. And obviously at the bottom of all of our videos has the link to all of our options of your podcast listening platform of choice. So, and once again, anybody who wants to leave a comment, we always usually answer. We're very social on there. We always are checking.
We're attentive.
Yeah, very attentive to our comments and our dedicated listeners. I can't believe I'm actually saying that now.
We have dedicated listeners.
We actually have dedicated listeners.
Thanks for existing, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for just being there.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's insane. So once again, thank you to everybody who listens. Leave a comment. If you know anybody who might also like the GTAS podcast, why don't you send them a link to share a video of one of our little mini clipped ones, or send them the link to the audio ones. Just say, hey, these guys talk about shit. Listen to them. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for listening. And until next time, farewell.
Goodbye.